Hey, what's up? My name is Ben. This is a story about driving for a ride share. There's a moral at the end of the story, so I'm going to get right into it. In the year 2018 to 2019, I drove for Lyft's Lux line in a brand new Tesla Model S. So driving a Tesla, let me talk about a few of the things that people would ask me when they first got into my car. Does Lyft really pay you enough to drive a car like this? No. Absolutely not, no. Then why do you drive for Lyft? Well, I drive to meet new people and have conversations and share my car, which I think is awesome and I love. So, oh wow. The white on white, that's a bold decision. Is that difficult to clean? No, they're pretty easy to wipe down. These are just questions that people ask. But I want to elaborate on my answer to the second question. Why did I drive for Lyft? And why would I drive a Tesla for Lyft, especially when they don't pay so well? Well, like I said, it was actually just a lot of fun to share my car with people. The reactions that people had when they would get in, they were so wowed. And for many people, this was their first ride ever in a Tesla. I once was picking up a guy and I got caught in traffic for like 40 minutes because I missed a turn. And I told him that he can go ahead and cancel the ride. And he refused to cancel the ride. He would rather wait because he saw that a Tesla was picking him up. And one of my favorite things that I would do, with the permission of my passengers, of course, was launch start the car, which is when you're at a light or something and the light turns green and you floor it. Tesla can accelerate extremely quickly. It throws everybody back in their seats. People scream. It feels like a roller coaster ride. I've heard people say that multiple times. It feels like a roller coaster ride. But of anything, my favorite time to drive was weekends. Like late, we're talking 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, picking up the people at the bars, which were near my neighborhood, and driving them home. So why drive those people? Well, because those people were so much fun. They were so stoked. That's the thing. If you don't judge people, if you don't get into their business, they're cool. They don't want to hurt you. They just want to have a party. So I met these people who were just fun. And I will always remember the lady who rolled down the window and screamed outside, "I'm in a mother Tesla, you peasants." Sober weekend nights with intoxicated people in a Tesla. That's my idea of a good time. It's also the time when they happen to be either drunk or high. So let's talk a little bit about drug policy when you're driving in a Lyft. First of all, Lyft and Uber, they are very clear that this is your car that you are driving. If you are uncomfortable, don't drive. That plays a big part later. Remember that. I'm thinking from the beginning, if I'm not comfortable, I shouldn't drive. And secondly, if ever there's an incident where a passenger creates a mess because they're either too drunk or they're sick, then Lyft will go ahead and cover your cleaning fee. So with that understanding, as a driver, I always kind of thought that Lyft had my back. So anyway, it's Saturday night. I'm driving around my neighborhood in North Park, San Diego, pick up a couple that need to go home an hour north of San Diego, an hour. That means I'm leaving all of the bars, I'm leaving all of the business and going on this long drive north of the city where I'll be lucky to get a ride on my way home, but oh well. Drop him off, start headed back down, fully expecting that the rest of my night I'm going to be spending alone. I'm going to get back to my house at 1 o'clock in the morning and fall asleep. But as it turns out, I don't drive alone and I get another call for a ride. This time it's at a concert venue that has just been hosting some kind of reggae show. The show gets out, I pick up these people who have clearly just had a fantastic night. The woman in the front, she said that she had had a fantastic time, but the thing that's different from this particular concert from ones that she'd been in the past is that in the past, people would always stand around outside and smoke. And this time, no one was standing around outside and smoking because everyone had their vapes inside. And I'm thinking, cool, I guess. All right, it's like a fact. Okay, she's just telling me a fact, whatever. They get out of the car. I decide if I'm going to see any more business tonight, I'm going to need to go back to that venue, which I do. And sure enough, I get another call for a ride. This time it's 2 guys and 1 woman, and they are driving north again. The woman had ordered the ride. She gets in the seat behind me. There's a large guy in the passenger side behind me over there. Then a smaller guy gets in the passenger seat in the front. So we start driving, the 2 in the back start talking. At this time, I don't have any music playing at all. They start to feel like it's too quiet, and they ask me to play something. It happened to be the case right then that the console at the front of the car was not functioning properly, and I wasn't able to play any radio. I had encountered this problem before, and I found out that the only way to turn the radio on if it was dysfunctioning in this particular way freeway was to stop the car and it would reset. We were driving north, we were now on a freeway, we couldn't exactly stop the car and reset. So when they asked for music and I explained this problem to him, he said, "Do you mind if I play some tunes on my iPhone?" Sure. So they start playing some music on the little iPhone in the back there. I'm talking to the guy in the passenger seat up here, and we're talking about driving a Tesla and how nice it is, and we're having, a nice chat like you would expect to have. They're doing their own party thing in the back. So we're driving north on the freeway, and all of a sudden, something happens that shocks me. Because if you're driving down the freeway with the windows rolled up, you shouldn't be able to smell weed. I don't even smoke, but this kind of just seems evident to me that the only way that you can smell weed that wasn't there before is if somebody starts smoking it. Right? And if you've got a vape, then maybe you can be a little bit more subtle about it. And so I just stop. And the guy back here, he says, "Why does it feel like everything's really quiet all of a sudden?" And I say, "Is one of you actually smoking in my car?" Now the guy in the back, his response is, "Well, when you say, 'What are you smoking?' do you mean what are you smoking, or what are you smoking?" And the woman, she responds, "Oh, that's not us. That's the skunk." Now, I start thinking, I don't want to escalate the situation. I don't need to point fingers. Their response was not what I expected. A no would have been nice. A reference to a skunk, suspicious, but you know what? Let's not even deal with it. We don't even need to have the conversation, because if I'm not comfortable, I don't have to drive. But this is my thought. If I'm not comfortable, I will let them out. So I start looking for the next exit. There's not a conversation that needs to be had here. I don't need to have them confess. I need them to get out of my car. And they start being rude about it. So the guy, he starts to get a little bit more upset, and he starts asking what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And he starts to suspect that I'm angry, which I am. I'm just not going to talk about it. I say something to the effect of we're going to make sure that this situation gets taken care of, and I'm still driving looking for the very next exit. Now I see the very next exit coming up. The next exit has a hotel right next to the exit, which is perfect because it's open 24 hours. I can let them out. They'll be sheltered. They can go in someplace into the lobby, make another call that they'll be warm. It's convenient. Everybody wins, right? They can still get their ride. I can go back home. We don't have to have a conflict. This is going to be okay. So I take the exit, and the guy starts to get mad. Expletives, really yelling at me. "We're not smoking. What the da?" And I'm just trying to be cool. So pull right up, right in front of the lobby doors. And I say, "You guys should get out of the car now." And they, of course, are upset, which, I understand, especially the dude who's next to me, right? We were having a nice conversation about driving a Tesla. Why does he have to get out of the car? But whatever. He actually gets out, no problem. She's back there going "Dude, let's not even make an issue out of this. Let's just go. He's not worth it." She's calling me names. I don't care if she's calling me names. We're going to part ways. Everything's going to be fine. I got my hands on the steering wheel, and I'm waiting for them to get out of the car. Just get out of the car. That's your job right now. Get out of the car. I'm not saying all that. I'm just stubborn. At this time, I'm wearing a hat and glasses. All right? Holding still. Holding down the fort, waiting until everyone's out. And all of a sudden, I can't see anymore because someone is grabbing my face and my throat. And I go into a state of panic. Because if you can't see and if you can't breathe, then you need to know what's going on, and you need to know what's going on now. Is someone trying to kill you? This is the panic that I go into. Now, that panic, that panicky moment, that doesn't last very long, right? This is fractions of a second because I was not being strangled and I was not being beheaded. I was being grabbed at. What this dude did is he grabbed both my kind of like with kind of expert agility. My hat, my glasses, rips them off my face and gets out of the car. Says a nice big have a nice day, if you know what I mean, and slams the door so hard that whole thing shakes. As soon as he is out of the car, I am out of there. You want to talk about launch starting? Boom! I am bolting. Turn around, go down the back of the hotel, and I'm thinking, are these guys going to come after me? Are they going to start throwing stuff at my car? Like, what's going to happen next? I don't know. I don't want to find out. I'm out of here. So I drive around the back, I park. I'm coming down, and I'm trying to, like, slow down. Now, here's the big lesson right now. This is when you call the cops. Okay? If you drive for any car ride service and you are in this situation, you call the cops. I don't call the cops. The first people I call, this is stupid, but I call Lyft. Lyft is not the cops.
It's about 2 o'clock in the morning now, and I'm gonna file a claim with Lyft, and it just occurred to me maybe I should make a video or something just documenting everything the moment of.
So I call Lyft, and I let them know what's up. I report the woman who ordered the ride, and I tell them about my car. I'm worried maybe he damaged it. They tell me that they'll pay for any damage, which is great. Get out of the car to look at the damage. And as I'm looking around, this is when I realize I can't see very well because I'm not wearing glasses anymore. And come to think of it, I don't have a hat on either. And I'm on the phone with Lyft going, I think they just stole my hat and my glasses.
We'll just take a look at it in the light. Yeah, I don't see anything.
The car was fine. Lyft covers damage to the car. Did not cover glasses, did not cover hat, did not pursue the guy, banned the woman. Banned the woman. They don't know who that guy is. That guy was her guest. She's not responsible for assault. Like, okay, she can't ride Lyft anymore. I don't call a detective until the next morning. I call a lawyer too. The answer that I get was, when you get assaulted, call the police, dude. Then we can do something about it. It's my bad. Like, I don't know. This is my point. You're gonna drive for Lyft. Lyft is gonna have some information about all of its passengers. You have a conflict with a passenger, you need to take one of those passengers to court. You probably have the information you need to do that. But Lyft has no idea who's in that car with you. In fact, with Lyft, you can buy a ride for somebody that you don't even ride with. You can buy a ride for someone you don't even know. You can buy a ride for a serial killer. If you're just a kind-hearted person trying to do somebody a favor, you can buy a ride for anybody when you don't have enough information about them. You've got nothing on those guests. Nothing. They are anonymous. I can describe what he looked like. I have a point on a map that shows where their destination was. Lyft has details about the passenger. It went nowhere. It was frustrating. I'm glad that I wasn't hurt. I will never drive for a rideshare again. Period.